Welcome to Talkin Sports with Travis. I'm your host Travis Ballinghoff, here with my co-host Ben Debroekert. And let's get into the latest news in sports. The Eagles are getting healthy. Brett Favre said, "What about Nick Foles?" The NHL has a set start date. Russell Westbrook wants out of Houston. The Mets and the Cardinals want a certain catcher. What's going on in the Phillies front office? And the Angels hired a new GM. We'll also take a couple of your calls, and we'll talk to our everyday writer, Andrew Bonvechio. Let's get into it. The Eagles are getting healthy. They're expected to have both Miles Sanders and Alshon Jeffrey back. This is going to be Alshon Jeffrey's first game of the season. What do you think that'll do for the offense?
I just don't think Alshon's going to do that much.
Well, we can only hope Alshon Jeffrey stays healthy. As for Miles Sanders, I think that could really help out the run game. Our next story, we go to former Packers quarterback Brett Favre. This past week, he says that the Eagles should have traded Carson Wentz a few years ago and hung on to Nick Foles. What's your opinion on that?
I don't agree with that. I just think Wentz still has a lot of potential.
All right, I actually disagree. I think the Eagles should have kept Nick Foles, and they should have traded Carson Wentz. Our next story, we go to hockey, as the league is targeting a January 1st start date to the season, according to Pierre LeBrun. As for baseball, the Yankees and the New York Mets are targeting longtime St. Louis Cardinals catcher Yadier Molina. The Cy Young Award was announced last night as both Trevor Bauer won for the National League and Shane Bieber won for the American League. Shane Bieber won the award unanimously as being the first pitcher to do so since 2011. And the Angels hired a new GM yesterday. According to Jason Stark, the Phillies haven't even interviewed a guy. What do you think about that?
I think that's ridiculous, quite frankly.
And finally, big news out of Houston as Russell Westbrook wants out. What do you think about that?
I just think Russell's really hard to play with. You know, he needs to be the team, and it's just people can't work with him.
Do you think the Sixers should go get him?
Nah, in my opinion, no. No, I think we're good with our lineup. Maybe get rid of a couple players, but I think we'll be fine.
I agree. I don't think they should target Westbrook. If they ever do target a big name, I think they should go after Drew Holiday or maybe James Harden.
So I think those are two good options.
All right, that's the latest for the news in sports. Now we'll go to some callers. Our first caller, we got Jake from Glassboro. What do you got for us, Jake?
Hey, Trav. Thanks for taking my call. Long-time caller, first-time listener here.
Thank you.
I just want to say Carson Wentz is a massive problem. He's a turnover machine. He doesn't have a good brain for football. He has no heart. We need to get rid of this man now, like yesterday. Now, get rid of him. Get him off the team.
So are you saying we should bench Wentz for Hurts?
Oh, I'm saying we should lock him in the NovaCare complex, throw away the key, and say, if you want to start this week, you'll find your way out. That's what Nick Foles would do.
All right, Jake. I think that's kidnapping, but
It's good management. Call it what you want.
Right. All right. Thanks for the call, Jake.
Yeah, no problem.
Our next caller, we have Tyler from Elk. Tyler, what you got for us?
I'm calling in today to talk Eagles, baby. Everyone's panicking after the bye. We're 3-4-1. But guess what? We're in first place in the NFC East. We're going to keep it that way. We're going to finish the second half strong. We're going to sneak into the playoffs. We're going to see a team like the Bears, first round, at home. Speaking of the Bears, everyone's talking Nick Foles. We should have kept Nick Foles. Carson doesn't have it anymore. I just want to let everyone know that Carson Wentz is going to shut that out real fast the first week of the playoffs when he beats Nick Foles and the Bears at home. I'm going to leave you guys with one thing. That's let the Bronco buck, baby.
All right, Tyler, I really like your optimism. So you think we're going to play the Bears in the playoffs?
I can't guarantee that. That's what the looks are right now. It's a big possibility. I think all us Carson Wentz fans would love to see that. Love to see him take on the Bears and Nick Foles.
Man, that really would be an exciting game. Carson Wentz versus Nick Foles in the playoffs.
That'd be great.
All right, Tyler, thank you for the call.
All right, my man.
Thanks for the call, Tyler. Now we got Jake from Camden.
Hey, so you got Flyers jersey on.
What about it?
We're just wondering what you think about their offseason.
Well, if you like to think Filippo goes on in my jersey, that's the greatest goalkeeper Robert Zepp they've ever had. And 4 years ago, they released him, making the worst decision they've ever made in their life. So, I'm a very angry hockey fan.
Well, Rob Zepp was pretty awful backup goalie, if we're being
What did
honest.
you say? What did you say?
All right. And to wrap up our show, as always, we have our writer Andrew Bonvechio in studio to join us.
Where to begin? You guys didn't mention the only sport that actually benefited from the lockdown, NASCAR. We had live racing, then we had iRacing, which was the only new sports event being broadcasted at the time, and then return with possibly the greatest NASCAR season ever with Chase Elliott bringing home the 2020 championship. He came in as an underdog, was going to get eliminated last race, came back to win it, just like his father did back in 1988. This father-son connection is unmatchable in any other sport. The Intimidator is intimidated by how bad we are broadcasting NASCAR. The poor guy did so much, died for the sport. You don't want to show him anything? Even with the local sports teams, we had the Philadelphia Union bring home the Supporters Shield. The Supporters Shield is that they are the best team in the entire league, and you guys want to give them no acknowledgement at all.
Is that true? Did you hear about that? We have a soccer team? Anyway, how do you feel about the Phillies front office situation?
Of course we have a soccer team. We just won the whole Supporters Shield. The Phillies, though, the general manager's not the problem. We've been changing them in and out since Charlie Manuel. It's the players that show up. Nolan is good, but he can't keep going up to the mound and throwing that coleslaw out. The coleslaw is going to be completely consumed, and we're going to need a new condiment to come in and fill in for him. We just have to get a team that has variety.
All right, and that's the end of today's episode of Talking Sports with Travis. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time.